What's going on, guys? It's Average Joe. Just bringing you another video. A comment was left asking me why I own Dr. Pepper Snapple, and I figured I'd just go through the four major beverage companies real quick and just outline the pros and cons of each one, and then explain why I like Dr. Pepper the most. So up first we have National Beverage Corp. In my opinion, the best stock symbol ever. Fizz, genius. You see here today they're not doing so great, but if we go over to 3 months, it's monster growth right there. I mean, 40%, 76% on the year. You take that all the time. That's great. National Beverage, their biggest product is LaCroix sparkling water, which is really fueling their growth. And the other products I was looking at, I'm not really familiar with any of their other products, but maybe they just haven't come to New York yet, and that's the reason why. Now, pretty much the growth is the reason why you'd be interested in National Beverage Corp. And you see here PE of 45.6. I mean, that is way too high for my taste. And also, you see here there is no dividend, but they have paid out about $12 in special dividends over the past about 10 years. So you are technically getting about $1 a year from them. So I mean, you can't really rely on a special dividend though. Now, another reason why I'm not a huge fan of National Beverage Corp is their actual growth. You see here their 52-week high of 95.58. They're currently trading at 93.12. I mean, it's a little steep for me. I'd look more for something a little bit more value than what National Beverage is currently giving. Next up here we got Pepsi. I mean, I feel like everyone knows Pepsi. Just in case you don't, they own Mountain Dew, Amp, Aquafina, Gatorade, Cheetos, Frito-Lay, Doritos, Quaker, Tropicana, just to name a couple. Now, they are definitely the most diversified company out of the four that we're going to look at. They are venturing into snack foods as well as healthy snack foods. Over the past year here, we got a 16.79% increase. So pretty solid growth from a dividend aristocrat. Now, one of the reasons I like Pepsi over National Beverage Corp, obviously the diversification of all the different products that are household names. Dividend yield 2.83%. I mean, that's pretty good, and a 25 PE. That is a little high, but considering the market we're in, it's not really all that bad. Now, also, if you look at it, look at their payout ratio for their dividend, 62.8%. I mean, that's a pretty good payout ratio, and their dividend growth has been almost 44 years. So that's really good right there. Not to mention, the 2.83%. That's $3.22 paid quarterly. So it's also very good. And I'm not in Pepsi, and I've thought about it a couple of times, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Next up is Coca-Cola. And this would be the oldest company here, and let's ignore the one day. Coca-Cola over the past year, 3% growth. They got hit pretty hard earlier, December. Let's see, right around here, November. They were hit pretty hard. Probably for no reason. Just in case you don't know, Coca-Cola owns Fanta, Sprite, Vitamin Water, Minute Maid, Powerade, Smart Water, just to name a couple. They are also known as the largest bottling service in the country. Come down here, take a look. A PE ratio of 31. That's too high for me. I'd much rather go into Pepsi at 25. Pepsi is a more diversified company with the snacks that they offer, as well as Coca-Cola. I know they have the bottling service over them, but they're pretty much just a soda company. You see here, dividend yield of 3.38, which is $1.48 paid quarterly. Their dividend has grown for 54 years, which is, that's fantastic. Another downside for Coke, the payout ratio, 79%. That's a little bit too high. 60%, that's solid right there. Also, if you look, the 52-week high, $46 to $45. I mean, this isn't a growth company, so pushing through that barrier isn't exactly feasible. You shouldn't expect that. what I like to do is I like to look for companies a little bit closer to their 52-week low that don't necessarily have any outstanding problems. This way I know there's room for growth in the company. Now, if we come and look over here, Dr. Pepper Snapple. Over the past year, pretty up and down. I mean, 2% growth, almost 3% growth, I guess. 5 year, I mean, 145% growth. It's fantastic. Now, some people go, well, why do you like Dr. Pepper Snapple over, say, Pepsi, who's so diversified? Well, Dr. Pepper, it's not just Dr. Pepper and Snapple. They also own Canada Dry, 7-Up, A&W, Root Beer, Hawaiian Punch, Mott's, Sunkist, Schweppes, and Yoo-Hoo. Venom, the energy drink, as well as Stewart's. Anyone that's familiar with making a mixed drink, they own Roses. You guys all probably have a bottle of Roses lime juice in your house. And for me, most importantly, is Bai, which is their foothold into the seltzer type water industry, as well as flavored water industry, which I think is a really big deal. They bought them a couple of years ago, and I think that really has been fueling their growth over the past 5 years. Now, if we come down a little bit, we look here, 2.34 dividend yield, which is $2.32 paid quarterly. They don't have the same dividend growth track record as, say, Pepsi or Coke, but not many companies do. 7-year dividend growth, which is still pretty good. But what I like the most is the payout ratio, 50%. That's the lowest of the 3 dividend-paying companies on the group, and that pretty much means that their dividend is pretty stable and will be able to grow, over the next few years. And they, you want a payout ratio around 50%, 60%. For certain retail products. They got hit pretty hard because their earnings weren't great last quarter, but I think they'll be able to bounce back. I'm not too concerned about that. Also, out of the four companies, they are the lowest off their 52-week high. They're about 6% below their 52-week high. When I was writing this down. Also, if you are interested, their ex-dividend date is June 12th. You want to hop in, get a little bit of a dividend capture strategy. And you can see pretty much, you can see on the 3-month, there's where their earnings came out and they got crushed. They were killing it, though. If you look, come on. They were up to $98. At one point they were at $99. So they are a growing company. They are a younger company, and they clearly are diversified across all drinks. So you don't really have to worry about some people are worried about the soda tax becoming a thing now that Philadelphia has it, New York tried to do it, California has it. They offer other drinks that don't qualify under the soda tax, so that's not really that big of a deal. And you see, I've lost $10, but I have no intention of selling this. I think Dr. Pepper Snapple will be growing and growing for the future, and will become a bigger competitor in the soda industry. All right, and that's pretty much all I have for you today. Like, share, leave a comment on a video that you might like, and